Thank you, Professor Alabekova. My name is Aydana Malbekova, and I'm a research assistant. And I'd like to present the structure of the course Basic Kazakh, which was designed by Professor Funda Given. Now, the main feature of this course is that it applies flipped learning approach, which encourages students to self-study. Also, Basic Kazakh guides learners through important everyday topics while covering all communicational skills, which was made possible through the use of teaching modes, four teaching modes. Here on the screen, you can see perception, interaction, production, but the intercultural element was present throughout all the study materials and activities. At the end of each module, speaking of modules, I will talk more about them a bit later. So at the end of each module, students got a chance to watch movies in Kazakh and listen to songs in Kazakh, but they did it on their leisure time and it was not assessed. So now let's focus mainly on these three modes, which are perception, interaction, production, or otherwise interpretive, interpersonal, and presentational. Now, first, let's focus on the workload. So, because this was a summer semester, it lasted 8 weeks, and you can see that it was intense by looking at the weekly workload, which was 22 hours and 30 minutes a week. Now, what makes this course convenient is that it was divided into 4 modules. And as you may have already noticed from the table, that the distribution, the weekly distribution of the workload, the distribution of the weekly workload was uneven among the modes. So in the beginning, students spent 60% of their time on interpretive mode, which gradually decreased, and in the end, it constituted 30%, while interpersonal mode started at 30% and increased up to 50%. Now, naturally, students at this level, for them, presentational mode is the most challenging. So it started at 10% and ended at 20%. It's also worth talking about the preparations which were made prior to the beginning of the semester. So our team of research assistants, with the guidance of Professor Alabekova, we compiled learning materials for the perception mode and prepared activities for all the 3 modes. And the fun part of these preparations was promoting or advertising this course through 2 videos. They're 2 professionally shot videos, which resulted in 70 enrollments. This must be one of the highest enrollments for Kazakh language courses. So let's take a quick look at these 2 videos. So they were 1 month apart shared prior to the registration. So also earlier on, the students got a chance to get introduced to this course. And the videos were shared on official social media accounts of the Department of Kazakh Language and Turkic Studies, but they were also shared by the School of Sciences and Humanities accounts. So let's take a quick look. We won't watch all of them, but they're so fun. I'd like you to take a quick look. So this is the first one.
Are you looking for summer course? Yeah, it's just hard to choose. Take Basic Kazakh.
Study Basic Kazakh at Nazarbayev University.
Only 8 weeks program. Flexible hours.
Such a fun video. Now let's focus on the second one.
Do you have difficulties with Kazakh language? You like reading interesting comics, but it's difficult for you to understand it fully. You like watching movies, but you are not understanding many things. Every time someone is speaking to you in Kazakh, you can respond to them Kazakh bag. I know it's sad, stressful course for anyone. There are going to be a lot of fun activities like reading different cultures, and the most important thing for you is flexible hours, so you can keep your studies and
This video is very informative, which resulted in so many enrollments. Now, let's talk about the technical side of the course. So, 6 tools were used, or platforms. So the main one was Pressbooks. Let's take a quick look at Pressbooks. So this website hosts electronic books, which are interactive, and they are convenient in terms of how they're. Let's take a look at the chapters. And so this is a cover of the book with authors and editors. Now here is the contents. The topics are our team. We chose the kind of topics that were interesting for students, and here we uploaded all the necessary information, as long as along with written text, videos for the perception mode, module dialogues for the interaction mode, vocabulary, grammar, and so much more. And so the activities were prepared through the tool Qualtrics, and students got a chance to take all sorts of activities, interactive activities. For the presentational mode, students used Instagram and Google Drive. So a lot of students used Instagram to, so they opened accounts where they shared only course-related activities, and those who didn't want to use social media, they were given a chance to use Google Drive. So interpersonal mode was made possible with the platform Google Meet and Kahoot. So during the conversation tables, students got a chance to play fun games. So that's about it. Here's a screenshot of the Basic Kazakh Instagram page. So still, students are still using. So this accounts that students used during the semester, they're still up. Most students didn't delete them, and I wish we had more time. They're so creative, and yeah. Now. Content of the Basic Kazakh. I talked a little bit earlier. So here are some daily materials and assignments. While it's loading, it also let me say that can-do statements are also included in here in these tables. I talked about this earlier. So module conversation, written and audio text of conversation as a module, which is video. So now let's focus more on daily interaction mode activities. So earlier I mentioned conversation table. So that took 30 minutes, which was followed by a 10 minutes long written chat. And so every day, a student got a chance to interact for 10 minutes for one-on-one conversations, 30 minutes for conversation table. So in general, 40 minutes, 50 minutes daily. Here now for attendance and rubrics. All daily interactions were recorded, stored, and evaluated on Google Meet, Google Drive, and Google Spreadsheets. The rubrics didn't show up, does not meet expectations, slightly meets expectations, and exceeds expectations. Now, I already touched upon the production mode in terms of social media use. So every day they got different topics, but the kind of activities were consistent. So on Mondays, they wrote a short paragraph on the topic assigned for the day's lesson. On Tuesdays, they recorded a video. On Wednesdays, they again wrote paragraph of a story, and they continued it weekly over the rest of the course. Thursdays, a video, but this time with a peer partner. And on Fridays, that was a free writing a paragraph length post. Here's a rubric for production mode. Now, this was all made possible by the big team of Basic Kazakh, principal investigator of the project and designer, assistant professor Funda Güven, instructor of the course, assistant professor Razira Ghabekova, and me. I am a chief research assistant, and during the summer semester, I took a role of a project manager, and there were two graduate teaching assistants who worked with Moodle. So, and the main tutors who spent so much time with students are here's their names. So 8 dedicated tutors. Well, in general, because this course was launched in this way for the first time, the team was very big, but overall it can be launched with far fewer people. The number of tutors could be reduced. So thank you for your attention, and I hope we will get questions during the Q&A session. Thank you again.